We are going to be talking about the global panic over the Omicron. I know it as Omicron, but some people say have other names for it.
It's called the Omicron.
Exactly. I don't believe as yet the panic is warranted, but we will get to that. We'll also talk about the extension of masking in the United States. It has been extended. I also will wear, for the first time, a proper NIOSH certified N95. I've never worn one before, but I will be flying tomorrow. I don't even really understand how you put it on, but I'm going to try it for you guys in a little bit. And this may be the last stream of the year, quite frankly, because I fly out tomorrow and I'm going to be gone for a while. Now, I may do some streaming while I'm gone. Oh, hold on a second. We already have to be banned. It's actually crazy. It's people are already getting banned. It's humiliating. This may be the last stream of the year, but if we get to 100, I'll do more streaming. Okay. I'll take breaks from my vacation and do more streaming. I do want to say thank you to some people who have already signed up here. And unfortunately, I seem to have a limitation on Twitch for how far back I can see. Why is this? Let me see here. If I uncheck this, man, I don't know why I can't go back further. I know Jen here just gifted 2. Deeper Shades of House resubbed. Fifth Dimension signed up. Nikki 206, and I think there were 2 more. Or no, 3 more. So that'll put us at 7. Also want to say thanks to Gabor Casimir, who just signed up at joinpakman.com, putting us at 8. Okay. So that's where we are right now from that particular standpoint. All right. So they are doing the Christmas tree lighting. Like, I don't care about it. And we didn't, yesterday while we were streaming, they happened to be doing the menorah lighting for the 4th night of Hanukkah. And today they're doing the Christmas tree. We'll be here streaming, so we'll look at it, but it's really not the point of today's stream. Let's talk about what's going on with Omicron. First of all, U.S. tightens travel testing requirements, mask mandates as part of a broader fight against COVID. The Biden administration tightening travel rules and within the U.S. requiring all inbound international passengers to test within 24 hours of departure. I genuinely don't know how that's going to work. I really don't. And many of you know the circumstances I had traveling back from Spain 3.5 months ago, where my girlfriend had 2 false positive antigen tests. And we needed it. Were it not for getting a PCR, which took 24 hours, we would have been stuck in Spain. There would have been no show in the second half of August. I would have been quarantining in Spain. And if there had been a 24-hour requirement at the time rather than 72, we would have been screwed. So that's a problem. I don't know how it's going to be managed. Also extending mask requirement on all domestic flights and public transit through March 18th. It was previously February 18th. At this point, it's hard to imagine mask mandates for airlines going away anytime soon. Anytime soon. The changes are part of a broader plan. Another article about this as well. Let's see what we have here. The steps come as the first known U.S. case of the Omicron variant was detected in California in someone who came back from South Africa a week ago. There are also cases now in Minnesota and, hold on, do I have it? Second U.S. case in Minnesota, someone who had been in New York. Guys, it's everywhere already. It's everywhere at this point. The governor says there's no confirmed cases in New York. Like, obviously there are. So, I mean, not confirmed, but obviously there are cases. Also, Omicron found in Colorado. We still do not know if it's more severe. We just don't know. If it's not more severe, then this could be the beginning of what Vincent Racaniello said is likely to come eventually, which is more transmissible, less severe, which is what we want. Doesn't mean we go out and we try to get sick, right? That's not what it is at all. But that remains to be seen. We just do not know. Further tightening testing requirements. We know that only a 24-hour window to be tested. That's really, really tough, particularly with PCR. I don't even know that really, I mean, I don't know. I go back and forth about the travel measures, particularly the travel bans for certain countries, where it's like by the time they banned South Africa from traveling here, it was already in Europe. It was already here, almost certainly. Joe Biden pulling out all the stops will encourage vaccinations, make them accessible, launch family vaccination clinics, and on and on and on. So meanwhile, in Germany, Merkel to enforce lockdown for unvaccinated with COVID surging, not too dissimilar from what's happening in Austria. Oh, hold on. We got to ban someone spreading disinformation. The COVID survival rate is not 99.999998. About 0.8% is the death rate of COVID, and that is 6 times that of flu. So you're just going to get banned for the disinformation. There's just no tolerance for it. Why even bother? Really sad, the number of people getting banned. I want to say thanks to Chronically Steph for the Twitch Prime sub. Very much appreciate that stuff. Germany is poised to clamp down on people who aren't vaccinated and drastically curtail social contacts to ease pressure on increasingly stretched hospitals. In one of her final acts as chancellor, Angela Merkel will hold talks with the 16 regional premiers later today, which are expected to agree on new curbs, including only allowing vaccinated people or recovered individuals into restaurants, theaters, and non-essential stores. According to a draft agreement prepared by Merkel's office, there will also be tighter contact restrictions for non-vaxxed people. Nightclubs will be closed in places with high rates, and there will be strict limits on spectators at large public events. The more than 12 million adults not inoculated is what is creating a challenge for the health system. If you look at vaccination rates, very pleased to see Spain and Portugal extremely high vaccination rate. You love to see it. Some problematic elements over here. Now, what you have to also remember is some of these countries do not yet have ubiquitous access to vaccines, a factor that we certainly have to account for. So that's what Germany's doing. Let's look at what Austria is doing. Here it is. Austria introduces lockdown for unvaccinated. About 2 million people who have not been fully vaccinated have been placed in lockdown. We are not taking this lightly, but unfortunately it is necessary. So listen, a lot of people have been asking me, David, sir, what is your view as to what people should be doing? And I am not a medical professional, so I'm not going to suggest to people anything that I come up with. Okay. Who am I? I'm no one. I am just going to go by what is being said by medical professionals, right?
Please proceed, Governor.
Exactly. So my view is that there's essentially 2 approaches at this point in time. I'm not telling anybody which choice to make, but I'm saying there are essentially 2 approaches at this point. One approach is any level of elevated risk is not tolerable, and thus you essentially need to hide out, right? I mean, it's like you just got to be a hermit. That's one option. The second choice is to say this is going to be the situation at least for a couple of years, right? I mean, when you look at the numbers that are present, okay, we had the April peak, then the July peak, then these subsequent peaks, November, December, January, and then we were back down. We had a pop in April again and back down. We had a big surge at the end of September and then back down. And now we're all the way back up. Okay. It is extremely unlikely, particularly with so many anti-vaxxers in the United States, that this is just going to go away. You know, people talk about the end of the pandemic. The end of the pandemic will be it slowly becomes endemic and hopefully less severe. So it's up to you to decide your level of risk. Right now, the way I'm thinking about it is I've had my 3rd dose. I'm very powerfully boosted. My Wi-Fi is off the charts on that basis. That's a joke, by the way. I don't want to get demonetized. I've had my 3rd shot. I am avoiding certain things. Like, for example, I was 95% done with big concerts before COVID. It's just annoying. Last I told, I went to a Billy Joel concert. I've got some guy drunk elbowing me the whole time, cheering every time he likes this. I just don't need it. I'll just watch the concert on TV. Large sporting events. Okay, guy. I've been to the football. I've been to the hockey. I've been to 100 Celtics game. How I don't really find the need to do it. I'm annoyed by the crowds. I'm done. I'm probably done with sporting events and large concerts for the foreseeable future. Outdoors, when I travel up to the Berkshires in Massachusetts and go to Tanglewood and see Yo-Yo Ma at an outdoor venue, of course. Of course. But I'm not doing that now. The last 5% is because of COVID. I'm just not interested. Indoor restaurants. I'm back to indoor dining. Now, you wear the mask when you go up to order and then you take it off or whatever. I don't care about that. I'm choosing restaurants based on, is it packed and the tables are stuffed together? Or is there some clearance where you're basically just sitting with the people that you're with? I'm not going to the really crowded indoor restaurants. I'll sit outside, or to the restaurants I go inside, I want some separation at the tables. I'm comfortable with that. You wear your mask to order or whatever, just to be brought to your table, and then you sit down. I've accepted that level of risk because I think it's acceptably low. I already don't go to church or synagogue or whatever. I'm continuing not to go. Am I traveling? Yes. After the Spain false positive incident, and in addition now with a 24-hour testing requirement, I don't know that I'm doing any international travel for the foreseeable future. Tomorrow I'm going out to the West Coast. Yes. I'm going to wear my mask. Everything. It's warm. I'm going to be mostly outside. It's an acceptable level of risk for me. Everybody has to figure out for themselves, but it's not really going to be too different for the next couple of years. It seems pretty clear. And so these are the options, and it's up to everybody to decide what to do. I had one other thought on this. What was the other component of this? In terms of indoor events with friends, if it's more than a few people, everything I've done, everybody's taking a test on the way in. And of course, there are questions as to the accuracy of the tests and all those different things. But it's been an additional kind of layer, I guess I would say. So listen, people have got to figure out what works for themselves, right?